it's Christina Minyagi with John L. Scott Real Estate, and today I want to talk to you about the book, We Measure the Earth with Our Bodies. This is an amazing story of Tibetan refugees fleeing from the Chinese invasions of 1950. And it's the story of 3 generations and their life after the first generation flees with their mom and dad after Tibet was invaded by China, and then talks about their life in the refugee camp and what that was like and how it became less of a camp and more of a community of these Tibetan refugees, and how it became a permanent fixture. And it delves into so many, I feel like, really important topics when you're talking about people who are fleeing from religious persecution, and also not just religious persecution, but also what's the word I'm looking for? Like when, like your lifestyle or like your indigenous culture, yes, religious and cultural persecution. And because that was a lot of what was happening when Tibetans were fleeing. If you're like me and you didn't really know anything about the Chinese invasion of Tibet, it was a hugely eye-opening experience. And it also talks a lot about what happens then to that second generation or that third generation that's born into the refugee camp. They have no papers, they're undocumented, and how that limits their ability to grow out of that because they can't get work, they can't, it's more difficult for them to get schooling, it's more difficult for them to leave the country. There's just all these roadblocks put in place that even once they do have an education, that keeps them from, like, you know, leveling up and having better lives. And it just really explores that in a way that it's very relatable, and it really makes you think about what the treatment of people and how, I'm sorry, I'm going to start crying about it, and just how we can treat others so much better when they are trying to do better and they are fleeing from a life that just is no longer sustainable because of the overthrow of their country. If you are looking to read a book that honestly took me like 2 months to read because I just had to keep putting it down because it's a lot, I highly recommend We Measure the Earth with Our Bodies. I'm not going to try and butcher the author's name because it's very difficult to say and I don't want to ruin it. But I picked it up at our local Walla Walla Public Library. I highly recommend it. If you've read it and you have anything to share about it, drop a note in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more content on books, real estate, and Walla Walla.